Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is Hany Ismail from Planning Engineer website. In this short live session, I would like to discuss with you an interesting idea. And if you have a question during my explanation to my idea, you are welcome to type it in the comments and I will answer it for you. So, the purpose of this live is to discuss with you one proposal came to my mind to have some kind of hybrid meeting. This hybrid meeting or a discussion where we have some offline attendees. So I will invite some engineers to my office to attend this live hybrid meeting. And I will have also in the same time a Zoom meeting where online people can join and they can also participate in this discussion. The purpose of this discussion is to have like a workshop. We can exchange the ideas and we can have maybe one full day, okay, to have this discussion and work on some project, do the baseline and the updates and so on. So if you are interested in such idea, type in the comments, let me know. So whenever I do it, I can invite you to the online or the offline meetings. As I told you, we will have a hyper mixed offline with the online. Right now, I'm preparing the place so we can do this meeting. Regarding today live session, also I would like to share with you some nice tips and the tricks in the interview. I have, if you are following me, I did several online interviews for planning engineers, and the purpose of this interview was to have some kind of discussion and evaluate the planning engineers who are doing this interview. So I did so far three interviews, one already published, the second one is on the way, and the third one I still hesitating to publish it or not. But this is the tips and tricks I would like to share with you. When you have an interview, especially if it is online, please be prepared. And if the timing is not suitable for you, just simply tell the interviewer that you are not yet ready, okay? And you can reschedule your interview timing according to when you have a quiet place, you have a good internet connection, you have well dressed, and you are very prepared to take the interview. The second thing, do a simple review before doing the interview. So if you have, okay, some good experience even, but sometimes we forget things. We forgot what is definitions in the project management, especially if you are not using it a lot. So it might be a good idea to start reading some interview tips and tricks. I already made for you one guide for the interview tips and the tricks, and I shared with you. It is 87 questions, I believe. You will find it in my website. It is free. You can download it and read it. It will refresh your memory. So when the interviewer asks you one question, you will not think a lot because the interviewer, especially if it is a technical interview, you will start thinking, okay, and you might give uh, impression to the interviewer that you are not 100% confident about the answers. So it is a good idea to review your interviews. Now you are welcome if you have any questions. You are welcome to type it, and I will be happy to answer it for you. So we have here greetings. Thank you very much. And nice to meet you, engineer. Happy New Year 2022. Happy New Year to you all. And start your new year with some plans. You are a planning engineers, plan for yourself. And this is a top priority to plan for yourself. If you don't know how to do certain tasks in planning, put for yourself a schedule. Okay, in this month I will learn this topic. In this month I will learn this topic, and it will be very nice to stick to a plan. We all busy. We all don't have time. Okay, but when it comes to the planning of your skills, think of it as this way: you will be doing the work anyway. Okay, you have two methods to do your work. You have the traditional method, okay, the method you are using right now, and you might think or might consider some smart method or smart planning techniques. At the beginning, the smart planning techniques will take more time for you to learn it. But once you have learned this one, it will save more time for you and it will make you doing your daily tasks in less time, so you will not be this much pressure in the work. I agree with you. We all have this pressure. We all have these responsibilities. And I remember when I was doing my master degree, I postponed it for maybe 1 or 2 years because I didn't have time. But once I started it and putting some schedule for myself, I found it is achievable. You can always find some time for you to do your tasks, and yeah, it will be a benefit because if you are doing one task, let's say in 20 minutes, okay, and you are doing this task every day, doesn't matter. You don't need to reconsider or learning something. But if you are doing a task, it will take from you 3 hours, and you are doing it in weekly basis or are doing it every 2 3 days. If you think about some method somehow to reduce this 3 hours to 30 minutes, it means you gain 2.5 hours every week or every couple of days. It means you can invest this 2.5 hours to learn something new. This is how I think with things. Okay, we have a question here. Good afternoon, sir. How to make good resource? Okay, good resources. Resources, if you are talking about resource loading, I talked about this one before, that resource loading based on the productivity rates and the quantities. Sometimes engineers asking me, Hani, we don't have quantities. How we can make the resource loading? Simply, you can't. You can make some rough estimation, like you ask the experts or the project managers, the construction managers, okay, this activity, how many hours or how many days it needs, but this is not very accurate. When it comes to the accurate calculations, you need the quantities, you need the productivity rates. And here we can talk little bit about productivity rates because not all productivity rates are the same. It depends on your country. It depends on your nationality of the people. It depends even if they are working on lump sum criteria or they are working on salary. Because yeah, it vary because people are very smart. By the way, the worker are very smart. If you told them finish this job, okay, and then go home, they will finish it in half of the time. If you told them okay, you have to work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. like this. So when it comes to the productivity rate, it depends on your working environment. If you are working in a special, like if you are working in very hot weather, also it will affect your productivity. If you are working on, let's say, difficult place to go, it needs more time going and coming. It will consume from your productivity. So the bottom line is, if you have a record from your company about the productivity rates, it will be great. Okay. If you don't have, you just assume some productivity rates and then start monitoring these productivity rates and then decide, okay, this productivity rates was too high, this was too low, and you make some adjustment to your productivity rates. Me also at the beginning, I thought that once we created the baseline, خلاص, this fixed, we cannot change it anymore. Actually, it is not correct. When we create a baseline, this is a starting point. We keep enhancing the baseline, we keep putting inputs to it, So it is not the end of the world when you have a baseline event is approved. You can change it. You still can change it. You still can change your productivity rates. You still can change your resources. And if you are working for a company, it is a good idea to keep these records handy. Like you are collecting from one project the actual productivity rates, which is something will be very good. It will help you even later on in your future projects. But if you are keeping these records handy and you are working in the same company, it will be perfect because you have already the records for the productivity rates. You have يعني very specific records. Okay. Then, after you, if you are not working for the same company, you are working for another company in the same country, it is still valid. Okay, because almost 80 to 90% it will be the same for the same country. The third one, if you already have the productivity rates recorded by yourself and you are happy and confident is correct, you can take it as a baseline even for another country. So my advice to you is always to keep record for your productivity rates. We have here another question. Yesterday, I made one plan and sent to him. Who, who you send it to? Okay. After reviewing, he said that every activity must have both predecessor and successor. I consider minimum one link relationship with each activity. Okay, so we are talking here about open ends. Open ends, this is not acceptable in project planning. Why? Because you cannot verify or be sure that your critical path will be in a good shape if you have open end. Open end, it means one activity without predecessor or one activity without successor. If I was reviewing this schedule, I won't approve any open ends. So start finding some logical relationships and do it. And there are too many ways to do the relationships in bulk, so you don't have to do it one by one. If you have a smarting ID system, you can make a global change and make these relationships, or even you can use the Excel. So yeah, I agree with him. I don't know who is him, but I do agree with him that open ends, no, not acceptable, unfortunately. Thank you, sir. You are most welcome. And also, one thing more in the open ends or the linking activity. In my opinion, don't put unnecessarily link and don't ignore links. Both things are not correct. If you are putting unnecessarily links, like if there is no need to link the floors together, you have one floor, first floor, second floor, third floor. Sometimes we link these floors together, and in the actual project, it is not necessary to be linked. In that case, it will give you wrong critical path. So this also the other way around, that overlinking, not overthinking, overlinking is not also something good. Why boss is asking that both predecessor and successor is required. I believe I explained to you that it needs to form a good critical path. We all know that the critical path is changing when you are updating your schedule. So when you have a solid relationships between your activities, it will tell you which activity is critical and based on the dependencies. If you have no links, there will be no critical path. You'll find two, three activities, and all other activities are scheduled or planned to move until the end of the project without any issues. So, and this is not correct, right? So, this is the main thing. Uh, Hello, sir. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Nowadays, what is the role of Power BI in project control? Okay, Power BI, in my opinion, is a very nice tool, very nice planning tool to represent your reports in an interactive way. What I mean by interactive, it means that you will create your report based on your data and do all your homework. Then you will send one link to your senior manager or project manager or even projects manager. These links, if you put some filters, which called slicers, like Excel slicers, and this person start clicking on this slicer, the report will be interactive with it. It means he can filter, he can show different data based on the inputs. And in that case, the other party does not require to have any software. He's just opening the Primavera, sorry, no, the browser, only the browser. He shouldn't have the Primavera, even no need to install the Power BI in the second party PC. So it is very nice and very effective. There are too many ready widgets we are using in the reports. You can link things together. Actually, it is very nice, and I believe if you start studying it, you will find it very useful as well. Okay, how to record the EOT? Okay, EOT events started from several places. يعني don't expect that the EOT event will be very clear to you. It could be in RFI, it could be in a drawing comment, it could be in site work instruction, it could be in some letters. So if you will understand your project, okay, then you as a planning engineer will be like the sniper. You are watching the correspondences, okay, and whenever you find something is impacting your schedule, you should raise your flag and tell your team to take care of this potential AOT. So, how to save it? You don't need to save it. It's already saved because you have the correspondences log, right? You have the site work instructions log. You have whatever. But when we create the EOT, we put it in a chronology base, and we make one appendix for this correspondences, and it will be part of our EOT. These comments. Okay, another question. It allows to measure the total float and the critical path. Yes, this is, I think, related to the previous question about the predecessor and successor. We have another question. My project critical path has been static for 6 months. What could be the cause of this? If your critical path is not changing while you are updating, it means you have a huge impact is coming from one place. So whatever other delays are coming, this huge impact is not changing the critical path. So in that case, look at the longest path in the Primavera. When you look at the longest path in Primavera, you will find what are the activities causing the most delays to your project. Then you might consider it changing the relationships, you might consider it changing some durations, then to make your project critical path looks reasonable. Mr. Abdul Mateen, hi sir, I'm a big fan of you from India. This is the you explain is very good and easy to understand. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdul Mateen. It is my pleasure, and I'll be very happy when I receive such nice comments. It is my pleasure to deliver the information, and this is our role actually. If you think about the big picture, why we are exist, we need to cooperate together. We need to share the knowledge in the proper way, not in the bad way. Maybe we'll talk about this how what is good, what is bad in sharing knowledge later on. But I'll give you a small hint. When you share your original content knowledge, this is sharing knowledge because some people are confused between sharing knowledge and stealing others' efforts. So if you are, let's say that someone is spending a lot of time and efforts to make this book, and then You simply can take it as a PDF and print it without considering the copyrights. This is what I call stealing. And we should respect others' efforts. And I found in my life when I pay for something, I get the full benefits of it. And one more tip, sorry if it is not related to the planning, but believe me, nothing is free. Nothing is 100% free in this world. If you see something or someone is telling you, oh, this is 100% free course, it means one of two things: whether it is stolen or whether it is has something to sell inside. Okay, this is not our topic, but since you say this one, sorry for deviating. What is the most suitable delay analysis technique to use? Okay, it depends because sometimes it is written already in your contract that we need to use this delay analysis technique. So, case closed, we should use whatever written in your contract. Second thing, you need to study it yourself if you are talking from a contractor point of view. You need to study it yourself, okay? And then after you study this, you make priority list. My best scenario is to use the as planned. Second best scenario to use as built, for example. Then you go to your client to discuss with them how to proceed further. Because you might spend days or even weeks preparing for one claim and they say, no, we don't like this method. So, this is, in my opinion, how to do it. Nowadays, BIM is used for project management. What is your opinion? Actually, I visited BIM 2, 3 years ago, and I found it is still not yet adult enough for planning. Yani, I mean, for planning, it is not yet very good. I spent maybe 4, 5 days making some modules, and would end up for me 30 seconds video, which is not uh, يعني visible at the moment. Maybe after sometimes they will make more powerful things for plannings, then it might be good for planning. But for now, I don't think so. I were a scheduler engineer and now I am working as a project management officer. Do you think it is a good choice? Yeah, I think it is a good choice in one case. If you like your job, this is the most important thing. What do you like to work? If you see yourself that you are better site engineer, don't move to the planning. If you see yourself you are better technical office engineer, don't move to the planning. It depends which area you feel you can be special, which area you feel you can be a good engineer in this area. So I cannot answer you if it is good or bad because it depends on you. Do you believe you are happy? Then very good. Good. Enhance yourself in this area and continue. Is there any opportunity in Saudi Arabia for civil engineering experienced man to move on the planning department as a fresher after understanding planning concept and learning Primavera? Okay, although this question is not related to our topic, but I would like to give you one hint about planning jobs. As a service, a free service we are providing for you, we collect jobs from Gulf, India, Egypt, and we post it in our website. So you are welcome to search for the job and apply for it. And it is, you need to upload your resume. We will review it. Then after this one, you can apply for the jobs. But me personally, I don't have a job. And please, the recommendation is something ethical. So when someone is asking me to recommend a planning engineer, like a company in Saudi Arabia or a company in UAE, I should be working personally with this planning engineer. So I cannot recommend someone I don't know. So the recommendation part, you need to be working with me in order to recommend you. But you have another chance, and it is good chance. I have several emails from people who told me, Hani, we got hired from a job posted in your website. Again, this jobs is not our jobs. We are just collecting them for you. You are welcome to find a suitable job and apply for it. And I hope you all the best of the luck. But before applying, are you ready? Do you know what you are going to be asked? Even if you pass the interview, will this job be a good and peace mind for you, or it will be a nightmare because you don't know what to do? If you are not working right now, it is a perfect opportunity to start. Start now, learn, don't stop, please. We have activity here. How can one track the activity task and cash flow reflective of the actual work on site? Can the MS project update automatically the current state of the project completion? Actually, since you are asked about MS project, I'm not big fan of SMS project because Primavera is doing better job in the scheduling part. Maybe the MS project has more powerful area, but I am using the Primavera in the scheduling part. So I don't pay much attention to the Microsoft projects. And yeah, maybe it is something I'm missing in Microsoft project, but I checked it 2 3 years back. Still, the Primavera is better than Microsoft project, and even uh, the companies now are writing in their contract that the soft planning software should be Primavera. I don't think that any lot of companies they are deviating from Primavera source. This is the same question. Okay, I think this is the same area we are talking about. What software is good for planning for a manufacturing shop floor? Okay, in my opinion, the planning should have or should be working on three areas. First area is the technical side. Technical, it means project management science, planning techniques, and so on. Second one is IT, which is tools. Third area is communication. So we are talking about here now the second area, assuming that you are good in communication, you are good in the technical side. Now we are talking about the tools. In the tools, I recommend Primavera definitely, Oracle Primavera P6. Then Excel. Excel nowadays it has new features. It is not new, but it is improved features, which is very good. And by the way, you need to upgrade your Excel to get benefit of these features. If you are using Excel 2012 or 2000 even 16, it will not work. You need to have the latest version and the subscription for the Excel. If you don't have one, please buy one. It's a good investment. It is very good. Okay, so Excel, Primavera, then Power BI. These are the three tools I recommend for the planning as of today, as of the date we are recording this video. Maybe after a while, some new softwares will come to the surface, and it will be more or better than these softwares. So as of today, these are the three softwares. Thank you for your free job service portal. Thank you very much. And by the way, this is free. It means free. Nothing inside it, because I mentioned earlier nothing free, but I don't mean this one. Can you help with the standard definition of what a delay in construction industry? What do you mean by standard definition? There is few standard definitions only, but uh, is in planning and project management, even especially in construction projects, nothing is really standard. Aside the FEDIC terms, project management, PMP terms, nothing is standard. All best practice. Let's say there is no standard code like designing. We have the Egyptian code, the British code, US code, In the planning, no, because this is a new science to the modern engineering and modern construction. So still, there is no 100% standards, but we do have some best practice. Even the BIM book, written by BMI, they mention it is the best practice book. We have here, thank you, engineer, or welcome. How to find the risk in construction, and our project is progressing slowly under budget, not working. Okay, risks. To be honest, in risks, there are software, even there is a Primavera risk software. But in my opinion, since we have a very dynamic environment in construction, so the risks in identification, I think at the moment is still it is a human task, not a program task. How? In my opinion, a good planning engineer, when he is doing the update and seeing what is delayed, what is the activities on time, and so, then he start identifying the risks to the project team. And in that case, it is not a risk; it is a potential risk. Then, by the inputs from the project team, then they will start, okay, making clarification about the potential risks, and then they can say it is risk. So, in my opinion, risk identification, it could be raised by the planning engineer, could be raised by the project manager, could be raised by even a site engineer or a project engineer. So it is a combined of efforts. And in my opinion, the one who should pay most or more attention to the risk is the planning engineer. Awesome. Thank you very much. Happy New Year to all of you. I wish you a very happy New Year. Which is the best tool to analyze the construction delay? Primavera. Because, okay, how we are analyzing the construction delays? We are making different scenarios. Like, okay, this is our baseline, then we updated it, then we have the event impact, then we see the differences. And since most of us is using Primavera Oracle P6 as the baseline, then we should use the same for analyzing the delays. Happy to meet you online. It is my pleasure. I'm very happy with you also to meet you online. Hello, Hani. I like Primavera P6 as it is the most powerful than MS by having its own database, but it is really annoying that it is not able to have macros and bank development application to be located in P6. Mhm. Okay, Milos, I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I agree with you that Primavera is not capable of doing some database actions or application like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Project. But we have Excel. I personally, I took from Primavera the part it is good at it. Okay, so the Primavera is very good at scheduling and forecasting the dates, giving you the forecast completion dates, and so on. The other things I'm doing using Power BI or using Excel, especially the Excel queries nowadays. It is very powerful, very nice. So I'm using this part. So I found it is better to take the Primavera strongest part and then implement other things in other software like Excel or Power BI. Out of topic, it will be good if you post news in planning engineer website regarding newly awarded project, industrial oil, gas, etc. in the Middle East. Okay, I would consider this, but what is the benefit of having such post of the new project? It means to give the planning engineer ideas where they can apply for jobs, for example, or just for information. I'm open if you would like, if you see that you need to be informed about the new project in the Middle East, okay, we can work on it. But what is the benefit? Let me know. What is the accepted percentage required for critical path activities in a schedule? Okay, good question. I don't know. Because, okay, let's say you have a horizontal project. Horizontal project, a critical path activity is much less than the vertical projects. So, in my opinion, it shouldn't exceed 15 to 20% in any project. This is my opinion. You might have projects with 30% and it is acceptable, it's okay. But over 30%, I don't think it is a correct thing. Please tell me the oil and the gas piping planning procedure. Okay. I never work in oil and oil piping, but if I'm in your place, I would Google it simply. What is the procedure of piping? And even if I'm not Googling it, if I took a project now, oil and gas, and I had to work on it, simple, I will go to sit with the site engineers or the engineers who are executing the work, and I will simply ask them, what are the steps you are doing? Very simple like this. Even if I'm managing a project, a traditional project, there are possibilities. I'll tell you one example. Ceilings and floors. Which one is first and which one is the second? No rule for it. Some project managers they prefer to make the ceilings, okay, then they do the floors later on. Other project managers say no. I would like to do the floors and protect it. I will not wait for the MEP to be done above the ceiling. I will do the ceiling later on. So it is uh, very simple activities, but not the same in both cases. Always appreciate a session like this. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Tawfiq. It is my pleasure to have these nice sessions with you. And exchanging the ideas, exchanging the information is very important. And I'll feel very happy when you have something. And by the way, I answer many of your questions by email and by WhatsApp. Also, you will find the links in the description of this video later on when the recorded version, I mean. And okay, so I will end this session. By now, we have almost 40 minutes. I hope you will find it useful. And tell me about this hybrid way if you would like to have some kind of 1 day session, one complete day, one full day. Would you be interested to have this one full day workshop? Let me know. One final comment here. Thank you very much. You told in a very deep way about risk assessment. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure. Uh, okay, I am a site engineer and I want to shift my career to planning. What advice you give to me? This let's close this video with this advice. Use this advice if you are a site engineer, you are having a very good experience to start as a planning engineer. What to do next? Learn planning. From where to learn, I will not tell you my website. You have a wide range of sources of the planning techniques or planning courses. But my advice to you, learn from someone who worked as a planning engineer, not as IT. I see some people who took planning courses and they don't know about planning techniques. They just know that what is the menu will do, file, open, file, close, F9, F5, but they don't know how to create a time schedule. So start learning with a basic course, then go to intermediate course, then advanced course. This is the way you can start learning. Then accept with the first job you have as a planning engineer, or even in your site, start working as a planning engineer. Uh, if it is even free of charge, if this is okay until you have some little bit experience, then from this point you can jump and work as a planning engineer with very big salary. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this one. You see you in the next lesson.